Hey, welcome back to Unspoken Words. I feel like it's been so long since I've done a video. I like recorded a video, and I'm sorry for the kind of disappearance that I've had for the last, how many months now? 2-3 months now. Apologies for that. But also, thank you guys for nearly 200 subscribers. That's actually crazy. I mean, I know there are people out there saying, thank you for 1k, 50k, 1 million, etc. But the little milestones also are most definitely worth celebrating as well. So yeah, thank you guys for nearly 200 subscribers. That's like imagine 200 in a room, 200 people in a room. That's crazy. Yes, I think, but my mini milestone that I'm trying to get to is 1k. That's the first little step of yay for me type of thing. Like, this is yay, but like yay, like when you say I don't like somebody, I like somebody. That's kind of like what it is for me and subscribers on YouTube. I don't know, I digress. So in this video I'm basically going to be talking about how I transitioned from using normal attachments like the kinecolons and the synthetics to just my natural hair to going to yarn braids, and also walking you through or giving a brief discussion of how I did this hairstyle, how I came about with this hairstyle. So what are we waiting for? Let's get right into it. Before we continue, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe so that and hit that bell notification so that you know when I post new videos on my channel, when I do. And just come on this journey with me. Just this very, very interesting kind of roller coaster of a journey with me. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this, so it's a bit weird for me to do this, but welcome back to Unspoken Words. If you're new here, welcome. I am so glad you are here. On this channel I do mostly hair related things with my natural hair, because I am a natural. So I've not been relaxed for it's been 6, when did I think it was in year 7 was the last time I relaxed my hair, so that's a long time ago. That's more than 6 years. Anyway, so yeah, so I do the majority of natural hair, but I also do other things on the side as well, like spoken word pieces, just life updates, life experience chats, things like that. I have started a podcast on Spotify. I will be putting the link to that down below. It's a little baby thing that as something I've always wanted to do. If you guys would help me to get some listeners on that one as well, just to kind of push it out there, that would be great. So yeah, I've kind of rambled on about a bit with this introduction. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm not entirely sure how to do this, what the rules I had for this is, but yeah, so just kind of bear with me, guys. As you can see, I am in a new hairstyle. For a long time I have been wanting to just kind of do hairstyles just with my natural hair, because it got to the point where I was using extensions or attachment, however you guys like to name it, things like impressions, etc., kinecolon hair, etc., to do my hair. But it got to the point where it was getting frustrating for me, and I wasn't enjoying doing my hair because it just took forever. It took too long, and as much as I love those kind of medium to small, not micro, because I can't do micro. I don't have patience for that. But medium to small type of braids, pick and drops and all, etc. It was getting too tedious for me, so I just stopped that and just decided that I'm gonna do hairstyles with just my natural hair, and it was okay for a while. But then it got to the point where the bobby pins reacts with the product on my hair, so it kind of started making my scalp very itchy, and when I left it in to go to bed, because I didn't want to have to re-style it and re-put the bobby pins in, so that when I'm going out the next day, so I left with the conclusion of putting the bobby pins in, but then that started reacting with my hair, so I couldn't do that anymore. So then I had to start looking for different hairstyles that I could do that was easy to to do without really having to use bobby pins, or if I had to use bobby pins, I was able to do it as quickly as possible, because, you know, I don't really like spending a lot of time in the morning, especially if I'm in a rush or if there's a lot of things I have to do for that morning or for that day. And it was working kind of sort of, but then it got to the point where I was just like, as much as I really love my natural hair, I really am not in the mood to be looking for something new to do with my hair, and how would it work, and how would I keep it looking neat as well and not rough and things like that. And I was just like, it was working for me. They got to a point where I was using a particular type of hair that was kinky, close to my curl pattern, and I was like, okay, it kind of looks like faux locks, but it was really just the downgraded version of Senegalese twist. I didn't do the normal method for the Senegalese twist. I just kind of twisted it, and then it looked more like faux locks, but that wasn't the look I was going for. Just anyway, but we put in it, pictures and stuff for you guys to see as well. Yeah, so that happened, and it was like, I liked it for a while, but then I felt like it was catching a lot of pollens, and I'm very sensitive to the pollens. Well, I used to have like really bad hay fever, to the point where, you know, red eyes, itchy, everything, watery eyes, etc. But nowadays it's just like little flare-ups from time to time. And that particular hair was catching a lot of the pollens and a lot of the dust and all of that stuff, and dust too. Yeah, sensitive to that too. So I wasn't feeling it, so I had to remove that and then go back to just doing hairstyles with my natural hair. The whole point of this ramble is that I've been trying to find something good that would work, that I'd really like and I can keep and enjoy. And I feel like I finally found it, and it's not something that's even new to me, but it's something that it's new in terms of, it's the first time I'm trying it, but I've definitely seen other people do it, and I definitely know about this method. And as you can see, it is yarn braids. I feel like it's a lot easier for me when it comes to yarn braids to be able to make sure that each braid is the same size, because I'm basically just counting the strands for what I'm going to put for each one. Whereas with normal, you know, attachment, it's more like a feel, look type of test, and that doesn't always work for me. With this, I really love. I thought that I was going to be a bit risky and try it with like an angled bob. That's what this look is going for right now. That's basically the point of this episode or this video. So yeah, I thought, let me do an angled bob and see how that's gonna work, and it kind of worked. I think I will probably do a better job next time, but I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. If I was to do it again next time, I would probably measure each section. So what I did was, when I was measuring how long I wanted the longest part of it to be, which was the front part, that's what I measured it with, so that for all of it. So each section or each strand would have, I think I did about 18 of it. I will explain all of that later anyway. I just want this to be more cohesive, because I don't feel like it's being cohesive enough. But yeah, so I found out that this is the hairstyle that I love. So far so good. It's only been a few days though, but so far so good. I really enjoyed this. It's softer too. I don't know what it is about all the other types of braiding hair. It just feels so aggressive and scratchy, but this is yarn, so it's soft, it's nice, even with the sticky parts, which I still have to trim for this one. I don't know how I missed this one, but yeah. It's not poking, it's not, you know, like feeling like stubble or something like that on me, so it's cool, it's fine. Sorry, this thing keeps, okay. Now, the only issue with this bob is that I'm somebody who, I don't really enjoy having things in my face, like hair in my face. I really like to be able to pack it up, or you know, be able to put in a ponytail, or like those half up half down do's. can't really do that with this. It's very hard for me to pack it away, especially when I am wanting to talk to somebody. Actually, maybe if I do it this way, it might work and stay out of my face. Okay, so yeah, so it's been a very much so experience for the past few days, just knowing how to really work with this hair and really just be able to understand it. So how did I go about doing this hair? I was working at in a supermarket one day. I think I was with my sister getting ready for her to move out, and I came across like a really big value pack of yarn, and I was like, oh my days, I want to do yarn braids. Like, this is me. Like, there was something that would just spark my inspiration for when I do my hair, and then all of a sudden that's what I'm gonna do, and looking for ways and the best way about doing that particular thing. So that's what it is with this one. So I brought 2 packs. I think there was like 4, 8. I think there's 8 in each pack, but they were pretty small. They were about that big, but it was a good, it wasn't like a thin roll, but it was a pretty decent pack, just in a small thing compared to the other ones that were there as well. So I thought, okay, let me get 2 packs because I don't know how much I'm gonna need. I don't know how long each yarn is, so I don't know if it's gonna be enough. So I brought 2 packs, so that's like 16 of the rolls altogether. I ended up only using 2 and a little bit, so 2 rolls and then like probably like 6 strands from the 3rd roll to get this look. I think if I was to do it again, I would do just like a normal, like I usually do with normal braids. I'll just do a normal, all the same length. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll just do all the same length. But if I want to do the bob again, I think I'll be a bit more meticulous in the way that I measured it, instead of just doing every strand the same length, if that makes sense. So like I put in this one. Basically what it is, that it was all the same length, and I think I measured it. So the way that I did it was I used my full arm. So I would wrap it around. So I would get the first loose strand and hold it with my thumb and my pointer finger, and then I'll wrap it around my arm and then push it through there whilst I'm holding it, and keep wrapping it to get basically the, how would you say it? So after I finish wrapping it, I'll remove it, then I will cut this top part off so that it has, you know, so it would be like the normal long thing to plait my hair with. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. The mistake I did the first time was when I'd finished rolling it, I'd cut both ends, so it was shorter than it was meant to be. Instead of it being like, if I was to put 1 strand to my head, instead of it being like 1 strand folded in half up to here, it was 1 strand folded in half up to here, because I cut it more than I should have cut it, if that makes sense. So just imagine that this is the yarn that I've been using, right? So what I would do is I would get the loose end. Yeah, sorry, this is very, very thin. Okay, the loose end, I will put it between my fingers. Okay, and then I would wrap it, because this side, this would be the actual large roll of yarn, and just kind of wrap it around. Just making sure that's making sense. Wrap it around my fingers like this, and then I'll get like a good chunk, as much as I can, because the more you put on your finger, the more that it was like kind of press my thumb down. So as much as I can, that wasn't too uncomfortable. And then I would remove this piece right here, so it would be a loop like this, and then I'll cut it here so that one end was looped and one end was cut, and it would be like this. But the first time I did it, I did it a lot, I had rolled a lot as well. The first time I did it, I cut it at both ends, so it ended up being like this basically. because this is how I was going to now start, you know, braiding onto my hair. So I hope that made sense. Yeah, the color that I used was gunmetal black. So it has like a bit of silvery tone to the braids. Hopefully the videos that I show will be a bit clearer in terms of how that looks. But that was the only black that they had, and it turned out okay. I mean, you can obviously see the difference when the sun, or yeah, the sun is shining, but it turned out really, really nice. I really like the color of it, and I'm going to definitely use it more. I think it's a very nice color to be using, very nice hairstyle to be using when it's winter time, because it's just so nice and warm, and it's nice ear muffin and all of that stuff. But yeah, so that was the preparation stage. Cut it and put it together, and what I did was for each of my strands, it was 18 of those loops. So imagining this part isn't a loop and it's just been cut, so it was 18 of them like this put together for one braid. So what I had done is I had I looked through YouTube to just kind of see what other people were doing and how they were doing it and what worked for them. I came across one video which said that what she did is she would use her own hair as the third strand because it made it flatter, or made the braid lie flatter on her head when she was doing the yarn braids. So that's what I used instead of doing like split into three like you usually do when you're doing your braid. So that helped me with that. I think I have a video of that anyway, so it'll just be posted so you guys can see, and it's not so that it makes sense. So as I was going down though, so let's say about, so this is, for this one you can actually tell where my hair stops. No, not really, but my hair stops here. I didn't really do this one properly because it's kind of poking out my hair here, but you can't really tell on the camera. So what I would do is that once I started braiding, so I'm just making sure that, okay, so once I started braiding, I braid like 2 or 3 times to get about here, and then I would take 2 strands from one of the yarns, 2 yarns from one of the 2 sides, and add it to my hair, braid a bit, and then take 2 yarns from the other side that I've not taken out of, and then add it to my hair, and then braid a bit, and then take 2 again, and then 2 again, so that at the end of the day it equaled 4, or was it 4 or 8, I can't remember how many yarns, to wrap around my own hair, whilst you had the other, I don't know how many it was for the other ones, as I was braiding it. So yeah, and then once I had gotten to the length that I thought would be best for me to stop, to make it look like, you know, an angled bob, I would then wrap, I take the longest part of the yarn, wrap it around, and then tie it a few times, 2 or 3 times. I think I did it about 3 to 4 times actually, just to make sure that it was secure. And then I'll go with the rest of it until everything was done and it kind of looks a bit crazy. And then I would start to cut. So I would start here, I'll start with the shortest, how short I want it to be on this side. And I think I wanted it to be about like my jawline type place. So that's where I started.
Alright, so one part that I did forget to mention and to explain was why some parts of my hair was, you know, the normal twist, and some parts were like loops that all look like they were looped in on itself. And that was just basically because for the shorter side of my hair, the length that I wanted it to be was going to be around about the same length of my actual hair, and I didn't want to cut my hair. So what I had done through another video on YouTube that I had watched, which I'll be putting down in the description box, and what she did was to crochet her hair, and so that it formed a loop, as I've shown you here. And so I did that, so it made it shorter, which made it easier for me to be able to do that shorter side of the angled bob. 2 other things that I did were to, when it came to doing the actual twists themselves, I would start off with braiding for a while. As you can see on on here that as the top part looks a lot denser than the rest of it. And that's just because for each one I would braid probably about an inch, I want to say, roughly an inch, and then twist the rest of them, just to kind of make sure that the roots were snug enough to look neat when I had finished with the actual yarn braids themselves. And right now also I'm just showing you how long my hair is because I want to see the length of growth once I take this down. Currently it's about 8.5 inches for the right side of my hair. I think I only measured one section. Yeah, 8.5, or just under 8.5 inches. And then at the end of it, and you see later on, but at the end of it, it was very sticky outy, like everything was just kind of straight and sticking out in all weird angles. So what I had to do was to wrap a scarf around my head just to kind of mold the yarn braids itself to my head and make it look more like an actual bob. So I think after that, and after doing that a few nights as well, that it started to mold around my head. This is me fully done in terms of I've done my mini twist. I have whilst it was still fairly damp, I added leave-in conditioner and then cream as I was twisting my hair. And then, like I showed you previously, I then added oil after for each, when I was doing each twist. When I was doing each twist, I added oil before I started braiding it. I don't know why my hair always seems to look a little limp when I do my mini twists. But you cannot fake that definition, that color, that depth of darkness. Oh my days. Anyway, so here I am showing you how much I trimmed off before I measured it, and how much I trimmed off from each of my mini twist strands, probably like a centimeter of hair. Some of the ones I'm showing here were more coiled up than others, or thicker than others. So I want to say about one centimeter of trimming for each of the mini twist strands, just to make sure that my hair is good and healthy and prepped for the yarn braids.
With the shortest one, for the longest one, I originally wanted it to be here, but then I realized that the way that I had folded one of them and started braiding it, it stopped quite short up, so I had to just kind of reanalyze how I was going to do it. So it ended up a bit shorter than I wanted it, because I wanted it to be a bit longer, but it still worked out fine. It's fine. So once I had gotten the basic of how short I wanted it to be, how long I wanted it to be, then I now went around with all the other braids to start cutting it whereabouts it needed to be cut. There was some, like this curvy one here, that's a bit longer than the rest of them, but first time doing it, so it's a learning experience. There were other ones that were shorter than it needed to be in that section. So let's say, for example, this one, there was let's say this one, for example, was much shorter, just by the way that it was positioned on my head, so it was going to look weird. So what I would do with those ones is that I'll take my failed first time attempt of cutting the yarn, because it was short enough to be able to use, and then I would just wrap it around the braid, because usually it was quite thin, so it made it easy for me to do it without it looking bulky. So I'd wrap it around the braid and then start braiding it using this as the third part to braid it. So I have the one that I wrap and then use this one as well. I don't know if that's making sense. Hopefully that's making sense. If you guys want me to make an extra video really actually doing a video demonstration of it, then I will do so. But yeah, so I did that to ensure that, you know, it was the right length, and then I would tie it again and cut it. So yeah, so I removed what I had done. For the ones that were short, I removed what I had done, then loosened it a bit, and then added that extra one to tie it, to braid it down, and then tie it at the length that was better to accommodate for the lengths that I was supposed to do. Even with that, there were still some parts that you know, are longer than others. I think this is the length that I wanted it to be originally, but that one's not at the front, that's like more in the middle here. So yeah, so there's some parts that are longer than others, but it's all part of the learning experience that I can't really do much about it, and I got tired anyway. I was able to do this all in one day, which was great. But that's what it looks like. I have been trying to make sure that my scalp is moisturized and cream, but it feels like there are times when it was very dry, and I don't know if it's because of the yarn that it's making it so dry, or if it's just because of the changing of the weather, because we're going into autumn, or we are in autumn technically now. But yeah, so let me know in the description box. I don't know why I keep saying description box. Let me know in the comments below, is this something you've tried? Is this something that you like? Because I feel like it's a style or a technique that I'm going to be using more often, and probably going to be one of my signature techniques. I don't know, we'll see. Do you guys prefer doing it braids or twists? And yeah, thank you guys for listening. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.